Welcome to another chapter in the Creating Analytics in WKO series. This is Lesson 4, Using Date Ranges in Charts. There are basically two options for specifying and changing date ranges in charts. The first and the simplest is to simply select date ranges in the right-hand Explorer, and the second is to build charts with dates built right into the data series. We are going to cover each one of those today. The right-hand Explorer, or the RHE for short, is where you select and deselect sports to display on charts and reports, and you also select date ranges for charts and reports. It does not affect the hero bar, just the chart area and the workout count at the right of the RHE. Most charts do not have date ranges specified in their data series, so all you have to do is select the dates you want to see in the right-hand Explorer. This is simple because obviously you don't have to customize any data series. You can use the charts for multiple scenarios, you can compare time ranges, you can look at different seasons, training phases, all without having to change anything in your data series. The only con, if it can be called a con, is that you have to remember to select the dates you want in the right-hand Explorer. As an example, take a look at this annual totals report. The data series do not contain any specific dates, so it simply reflects what's selected in the right-hand Explorer, and you can see that we have 3 years selected, and so we can compare the duration, distance, and TSS from each of those 3 years. And in a visual format, here's a chart showing monthly duration, and we have those same 3 years selected in the right-hand Explorer, so we can see monthly duration for each of those 3 years on the chart. The second way to choose dates to show on a chart or report is to use the athlete range function when building your data series. And as you can see, the format is actually pretty simple. You simply use the words athlete range as all one word, paren, the from date, whatever you want to be the first date of your date range, the to date, whatever you want to be the end of your date range, and then your expression. It can be used at both athlete level and workout level, and it's useful for displaying a fixed data summary, especially if you want to compare it to various other data or date ranges. It's especially useful in reports and annotations, and the one con to be aware of is that when a chart uses a date x-axis, it will always display the time period selected in the right-hand Explorer, which can be confusing, but we'll cover that in just a little bit. Here's an example expression using athlete range. Mean max curve is simply mean max paren power close paren, and that will simply reflect whatever dates you have selected in the right-hand Explorer. If you want a power curve for the last 90 days, you can use athlete range to set that up. Simply use today minus 89 as your from date to give us 90 days ago, and use today as your to date. And then your expression will be the same, mean max power. In this chart you can see that the yellow line is the mean max power curve for whatever is selected in the right-hand Explorer, which is 2019. So the yellow line is the mean max power curve for the entire year. The orange is our modified expression showing the mean max power curve for the last 90 days. Now you can select whatever date range you want in the right-hand Explorer. The orange line will always stay the same. It will always use the last 90 days of data. Now just for fun, let's look at an annotation using athlete range. This chart shows monthly duration for whatever time period is selected in the right-hand Explorer, which is 2019. This annotation is set up using athlete range, and it is set to use the total duration for 2019. Let's take a look behind the scenes of that annotation. You can see that here is our expression. The chart type is set to line, but the line style is none, so there is no line that's displaying on the chart for the total 2019 duration. It is not included in the legend, so you don't see it up here. The annotation is set to top right, so you can see it at the top right of the chart. Back to what I mentioned earlier, you can see that this chart has date on the x-axis. So this chart will always display the dates that are selected in the right-hand Explorer. We've got last 90 days selected, so it shows us 90 days of dates. The data series is set up with athlete range to view the last 30 days average heart rate. So you can see we have this nice white gap in our chart. If we select a shorter range than 30 days, the last 2 weeks for example, we can see that not all of our 30 days are displayed on the chart. So just be aware when you build athlete range expressions on a chart using date as the x-axis that it will still show data within the time range selected in the right-hand Explorer. The handout to this tutorial is linked in the video description. You can download it and click on these links for more information, or just visit WKO5.com for guides, tutorials, and tons of information. Thanks so much for watching.